Today we're making a Shopkins Shoppies doll cake. Hi guys, I'm Jen Johns. Welcome back to the show. Today I'm going to be making one of my favorite adorable kind of little toys. I wish we had had them when I was little. It's based off of Shopkins Shoppies, which are the Shopkins dolls, and they're so adorable. So I'm putting 3 of them onto this cake here. Here I have Jessie Cakes. She obviously loves cupcakes and cake. I've got Donutina at the back here. She loves donuts. And then Bubbleisha down in front, who of course is the big bubblegum fiend. These dolls are so adorably cute. I've got them sitting on 2 different cakes, so there's plenty of cake to go around if you want to plan a Shopkins party. Let's get started on this tutorial. So the first thing we're going to do is put together our doll cakes. I'm going to start off with Bubbleisha. How cute and adorable is she? And what we're going to do is use 2 6-inch round cakes for this. Now you could use a larger sheet cake if you wanted to. I just had these happen to be ready to go, so I'm going to use these ones. Now I have a 3-inch cutter here, which I'm going to squeeze onto the edge and press that all the way down and then cut out that 3-inch shape there. And then you want to take this section and then you're going to put it onto a cake board here. You just want to put a little bit of dab of buttercream there, which will help secure your cake. Put your 3-inch one on there. A little more buttercream here around the top. Spread that around with a knife or a spatula if you have one. And then we're going to cut out a 2 3/4 inch cake. Again, using the cutter going straight down here. Press it off. Pop that onto the top. A little bit more buttercream on the top here. And then we're going to do one more. We're going to cut out the smallest size. And the smallest size I have here is 2 1/2 inch. So here on my little piece of cake, press that down and then put it onto the top. Once we've got that onto the top, we can cover the whole thing in the pink buttercream. Once the cake is covered with the pink buttercream, you can take some pink gumballs. Now these ones are pink pearlized ones, but you could use regular ones if you want. And I'm going to put a majority of pink ones onto the cake here, covering the whole entire thing. But what I have is a couple of the little purple ones, and I thought just sporadically placing them to would add a little bit more color, because she does have some drop or some like little dots of different colors on her dress. So just trying to copy the dress as best as I can. So I'm just going to cover this entire cake in these gumballs. So what we're going to do now, before I've gotten all the way to the top with the bubble gums, I want to cut out a section for the doll to go into. So I'm just using a knife here, and you don't have to do it like whatever you're going to make a mess here with, you can cover up with gumballs. So just want to take out a little bit of that space there. She doesn't need too much room because she's quite a small doll, obviously. So I'm just cleaning out a bit of that. And you don't want to do too much kind of fooling around with the cake once you've got the gumballs on the outside, because if you've ever made a cake with the gumballs, you know that they are quite easily knocked off. So you just want to make sure you have the clothes off and that your doll is clean. You can put saran wrap around it if you want to, and you just want to push her down into the cake there, like that. And then, see, I told you they're going to run away on me. So now what we're going to do is finish off the cake with the gumballs, and then Bubbleisha is finished. So now for Donutina, what we're going to do with her is pretty much the exact same thing to start with as far as the shape of the doll cake goes. So I'm going to cut out my sections again. Now if you're needing a recipe for such a cake like this, I'm using my colored vanilla cake, and I've just used the deep pink Americolor to get this nice bright color here. The recipe for that will be in the description box, and it's also the full tutorial is down there, as it is also on my blog. So you're going to just pop out that big one there, put it onto the bottom, add some of the buttercream. The buttercream recipe is also up on the blog, and it's also in the description box as well for you. Take that there, stack that guy on top there, a little bit more buttercream, and cover that too. Stack that little guy up on top last, and then again, we're going to cover the whole thing in buttercream. So now I've rolled out a piece of fondant. You want it to be big enough that it will fit around your doll cake here. So then I'm just going to pick it up and I'm going to place it on top. And then using a fondant smoother, I'm just going to smooth it down to the bottom here. So you just want to gently do that with your fondant smoother. With the white fondant covering the bottom of the cake, what we're going to do is take a piece of brown fondant that I've rolled out, and I've just kind of like curled, or I guess zigzagged the fondant here. Wanted it to look as if it's chocolate dripping down the side here. So just smooth it down as best as you can. It's a little bit awkward in order to do it because of all these little kind of twirls in here. So just keep working it until it's covering mostly the top of the little cake here. So with our chocolate fondant here covering the top, what I'm going to do now is take my knife and I'm going to cut out a little section again like I did before in the other cake, just making a little bit of room for our Shoppies doll here. So get out what you can. It's kind of more difficult with the fondant in here, but you just want to get a little bit of the cake out because she will kind of push it out a little bit down to the bottom, but not too much. So we're just digging this part out. And then we want to put her into it. Again, make sure that she's clean and you've got that dress off of her. And we're going to push that down into there. Push her down, 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 down. And then we're going to take an extra piece of fondant that I've rolled out. And we're just going to use that to kind of like tidy up the waist area. And just pull her up a little bit there. And then wrap that around there to, whoops, we've got some tearing happening. So just move it around. And we're going to just place her like that. And then take a knife, or you can just cut it off, just snip it off. And then once you've got that all set up, what we're going to do is take some sprinkles, and I'm using Jimmy's, and I'm trying to find like the larger ones. And what I'm going to do is just press them into the fondant there like that. You can use some water if you want to. And then I've got these adorable little donut, little sprinkles, I guess you'd call them. And just put a little bit of water on the top, on the back actually, and then place that at the bottom of the dress. And we're going to go all the way around with the little donut sprinkles. They come in different colors, white and brown, and they're really cute. So our third Shoppies that we're going to do is Jessie Cakes, and she's my absolute favorite because of course she has the word cake in her name, so how cool is she? We're going to make her dress a giant cupcake, so it's really cute. So here on my cake board, I have a small piece of cake cut out, and it's about 2.5 inches in diameter. Put a little bit of buttercream, any color. I've just got blue for just something different. And then the next size up is going to increase, and it's about 2 3/4 in size. So then we're going to put some more in between. Our next one up is our biggest, and it comes in at about 3 1/4 inches in diameter. So we're just gradually going up there like that. Now we're going to start to get smaller again. So we've got a little bit more buttercream in here, and we're going back to that original size, which is the 2.5 inch. And then we're going to get even smaller. And our smallest one, which is going to be at the top, is only 2 inches. So this one is about 2 1/4, and the last one is going to be 2. So once we get all the way up to the top, we've got the rough outline of a cupcake. So now we're going to take our blue buttercream and cover the whole thing. So once we've got the cupcake covered in buttercream, what we're going to do is take a piece of blue fondant. You can do any color you want to. I'm just going to kind of match her actual like theme that she's kind of the colors that she is. And I'm just wrapping that around here. And then at the back, it's joining together. And then I'm going to take just a blade and I'm just going to trim it so that it is, if I can get it off the table, trim it so that it is even back here. Trim that off. And then what we're going to do is just take, you can just smooth it down here. And then with some fondant tools, what I'm going to do is just take a ball tool and then probably like every 1.5 inches or so, I'm just going to kind of etch in a nice little line there. And then just to accent the line a little bit to make it look more like a liner, I'm just using my veining tool. So I'm going to go around and do that. So once we've got the bottom on, I'm starting to work with some pink fondant now. So what I've got rolled out is just some like little worms of the pink fondant. And I'm going to put this on top of the buttercream, which is going to help make the illusion of the cupcake swirl. So at that point, I've got an extra one here to wrap around. But what I want to do first is put in Jessicakes. And I've got that cleared out there. Get your hands up in the air. There we go. Put her down into there. And then I want to just kind of finish off the swirl around her waist. Just going to add a little bit more here. Just going around. And her hair is getting in the way. You need a hair clip there, miss. So now I've got the fondant pink piece rolled out here, and then I've cut a hole out of the center because that's going to make it easier for me to wrap that around her waist. And then I've got it slit there. So I'm just going to pick that up and then basically get her hands are in the way. You need to move your hands, please. And then I'm going to now try to get that around her hands. There we go, much better. And it's like putting a cape on her like this. So you want to pinch any of those little rips together. We can patch it over afterwards. And then with your fingers, you want to feel where those little lines of that fondant are we put in there, those little worms I was saying. And you just want to kind of just hug it. Hug that fondant between your fingers to get those lines to really pop out. And then you can use scissors or a knife to trim it off at the bottom where that blue part meets. So to finish Jessie Cakes off, what I'm going to do is take some more of those jumbo jimmies here, and I'm just going to press them into the fondant just like we did on the other one. So I'm just going to press that in gently. You want to get it in deep enough that it's not going to run, but you also have to kind of be careful that it doesn't break. If you press it too hard, they will break. You can kind of disguise it though. So I'm just going to press those in, and I'm going to do probably white and yellow around here because that's the colors on her dress. Now what we're also going to do next for the larger cake portion is I've got a whole bunch of different colors of fondant that I rolled out, and I'm taking a small triangle cutter and I'm just going to cut out a whole bunch of these because this is going to be the bunting that we're going to put around our base cakes. On a large cake board, I have an 8-inch round cake and I have a 6-inch round cake. Now I cut a little notch out of the 6-inch in order for it to snug nice and flush right up against the 8-inch, and then I covered them both in a light pink buttercream. Now lots of Shopkins things have bunting on it. If you notice, they're kind of like their work and their like little pictures and stuff that they've got. And what I want to do with the triangles is just to make like some bunting that goes around these cakes at the bottom. So I'm just going to angle them, alternate my colors so it's nice and fun, and just kind of loop up and down each side of all of these cakes. So once we've got the bunting on and our cakes are all covered in the buttercream, next we need to transfer our doll cakes, and that's actually quite easy. You just take like a flat spatula or even just a flat knife, slide it underneath, and then just set your doll on the cake where you want it to go. So I want Jessie Cakes there on that small one. You can put supports underneath if you want to, but if you're going to put them on right before you serve it, you probably can get away without them. Now for Jessie Cakes, I've got some fun elements like these little cherries you can put onto the cake. You can also add her little Shopkins on, little sprinkles, and then I've also got some other elements down here for the other layers. Now I've got like some donuts, some donut holes, some suckers, gelatin bubbles, lots of fun things to put on the cake to complete it. So I'm going to transfer the other two dolls and I'll be back to show you the finished product. So there you go, everybody, how to make a Shopkins Shoppies cake. Now I've got Bubbleisha sitting down here on the bottom, and I've got Donutina up here on the top tier. Of course, she's got a donut and a beautiful pink swirl lollipop. The pink swirl goes perfectly with the girls in the overall pink theme, which is perhaps why I love this cake so much. Now lately, YouTube's been making some changes where you might not be getting notified if we are uploading a video. Now the only way to go about ensuring that you know when we do is to click the notification bell, which is beside the subscribe button. And that way you'll know every single time we upload. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.